Every level of a visual novel fan explained. Level 1, the Unaware Newbie. Unaware newbies don't know what a visual novel is, but they have definitely seen a meme or two, usually unwillingly. These are the type of people who just randomly stumble upon a visual novel video through a random algorithmic pull. This results in either an hour-long plus video essay about some niche topic on visual novels, an hour-long plus video essay about a specific visual novel, which in many cases is just an extended story summary, a horror iceberg video on quote-unquote banned games, or funny compilation videos.
I'm pretty sure the photography teacher's a white nationalist.
I said the tuna's good today, and you just replied with that.
These people have a very uninformed perception of what visual novels are. The common idea of, oh, they're these weird anime dating sims where you can date fictional characters. This ends up being the surface level perception due to absurd premise viral dating sim gimmick games being created. Such examples are the Dead by Daylight dating sim, the KFC dating sim, Tax Heaven 3000 where you can romance a girl while filing your taxes, Date Everything, the dating simulator, or any future rendition of a popular corporate company making an April Fool's Day joke. Either way, they find these games amusing and have shared it among their friends as a, hey, look at this odd thing that I found. Level 1 people and those who have never heard of visual novels also tend to adopt very common misconceptions about them. It's not an anime, but also not a manga, so it's inferior. Visual novels are not actually books. Who would want to play a game where you press one button repeatedly? I don't want to read all this. When does it get to the good part? And visual novels are all about romancing girls and having sex with them. These people will play one of these types of visual novels as a one-off whim and will enjoy their time with it, before moving on to the next thing that interests them or seeing another game that breaks the formula. However, most of these opinions come from a lack of understanding about visual novels / from people who have never played one. But for those individuals willing to look a little bit more, they enter the next level very quickly. Level 2, the beginner. The beginners are people who have a general concept of what a visual novel is and are aware of it. In comparison to level 1, these people are more in tune with anime as a whole, and have more opportunities for casual exposure to visual novels. They probably know or have watched anime whose original source is from a visual novel, even if they aren't aware of it at first. Stuff like Steins Gate, Fate's Day Night, and Clannad, usually the super big popular ones. They have maybe even played a few of them. Again, even if they aren't completely aware it was a visual novel they were playing. Stuff like Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney and Danganronpa. Or they'll check out those super viral popular hits just to see why it's so popular. Examples being Needy Streamer Overload, You, Me and Her, A Love Story, and Doki Doki Literature Club. This is the point where people start to be more conscious of them, and on occasion spot familiar images of them on social media. VN Twitter and VN TikTok are common sources. That said, this ended up creating the type of anime fan who uses visual novels as more of a personal aesthetic online rather than media that they enjoyed. Common traits include having a visual novel character as their profile picture and or adopting this visual novel core persona with accompanying pictures of VN merchandise, all while stating they have not played the game that the characters are from. It can be a bit of a challenge to figure out whether someone online is a passionate fan or adopting this VN aesthetic, but the easiest way to discern between the two is to ask them something about the content of the visual novel. Most visual novels have very explicit content and or have very disturbing material, and the latter person will not be aware of this or will outright reject it, despite showing it off. Of course, most fans will disapprove of this, but will still encourage those same people to actually check out the media. There is a reason why those works are so popular and talked about heavily online, which is caused by the certain group of people in the next level. Level 3, the casual fans. These are people who casually enjoy visual novels. These people consider visual novels to be a worthwhile, equal storytelling medium similar to anime, light novels, and manga. Most of them probably have a visual novel or two in their peak 3x3 top 10 greatest media of all time lists. They are more than welcome to share and celebrate their favorite visual novel in social media or private Discord servers. Some people in particular even won't stop talking about it to their friends until they've convinced them to play it. They've read at least 5 or so visual novels, most of which include the iconic classics. They mostly play games off of word of mouth from close friends or trusted people online, again, which is either a mixture of popular titles or even a couple of niche ones. Some might even begin to branch out to look for visual novels from specific authors / developers whose style that they liked. If there's a sale such as the Steam seasonal sale going on, they will likely buy visual novels that they're interested in, or alternatively choose to sail the seas for a pirated version of visual novels in case they're in a rough spot with money. From this level onward, visual novel fans typically have a dedicated reading setup or comfort spot, whether that's playing on a Steam Deck or console while relaxing in their favorite location, or settling in at a proper computer desk. Now, while visual novel fans at level 3 are fine reading, appreciating, and discussing them on social media, what holds them back from going to further levels, besides reading a lot more, is a lack of deeper involvement with dedicated visual novel communities. Unlike general public spaces where visual novels are only occasionally discussed, these specialized communities focus primarily on visual novels as their core topic. And it's here where you'll find a majority of level 4 and level 5 fans. Level 4, the enthusiast. At this level, visual novel fans are more invested than your average person. These people have read more than enough titles to not be called casual fans. They have a constantly increasing backlog of visual novels they want to read, they know how to research their next title, they know how to patch them, they know where to buy them, and they have an idea of new translated titles coming out soon. If asked questions like, what's your favorite visual novel? They'll have a personal favorite and will likely have one per genre and even developer. Level 4 fans have read enough to know what type of visual novels they like and will actively search for them. In their friend group of regular/less informed people, they are the visual novel experts, and those same friends will come to them for visual novel recommendations or opinions. These fans are also more actively engaged in visual novel focused communities, whether it's dedicated forums, visual novel publisher Discord servers, or even community servers focused all about a certain visual novel/developer. It's also at this level where these fans are more accepting of traditional visual novel quirks that would have your average person question or do a double take of. Examples include reading old visual novels in 640 by 480 resolutions, being perfectly fine with explicit content and uncomfortable taboo topics and themes, and the biggest filter of them all, consistently reading 40+ hour long visual novels. They will also easily come to the defense of typical visual novel tropes and characteristics with well-reasoned arguments. Examples include, but are not limited to, the creative direction of R18 content in visual novels and very long beginning exposition setup. As a small side effect, they are stern and critical towards people/actions that interfere with the creative direction, vision, and publication of those same visual novels. Most fans reach level 4 and are content with staying there. However, there are those who push themselves even further. Level 5, the veterans. The final level of visual novel fans, the ultimate form of a visual novel reader. Someone who has taken their dedication to the extreme. These people know way more about and have read more visual novels/eroge than even those in the lower levels. While level 5 fans can be simply more knowledgeable and have read more, perfectly qualified as experienced readers, there are also those who have taken steps further beyond. This is shown in mostly two ways. The first, the EN to JP visual novel readers. These are people who have dedicated themselves to learning Japanese to read more visual novels. They spend a good amount of their free time studying, whether it's Anki flashcards, following Genki textbooks, and of course, reading visual novels in Japanese to increase their reading comprehension. The more ambitious fans might even take the Japanese language proficiency test as a sign of formal mastery. Once they've learned enough, they have the freedom to read any visual novel they want. Some of them seek out visual novels highly regarded for the author's prose. Other cases include reading new releases as they come out and reading visual novels in Japanese to better understand the author's writing intent. Together with other dedicated fans, they could even come together and fan translate visual novels they really like for other people to read as well. As a side effect, these fans are also very particular about Japanese to English translation and localization changes, even more so than level 4 fans, due to their desire to best accurately reflect the original vision of the writer/developer. The second type of level 5 fans are visual novel developers and content creators. These are the people who have dedicated themselves to making visual novel content to fulfill a larger vision/desire of theirs in this field. Now, while some visual novel developers may not have followed the typical steps of reading lots of visual novels, they have a strong desire to become game developers after being inspired by titles they like. This leads to fan-made works of current popular IPs, games with a heavy inspiration off of a certain title, or their own original visual novel. You will find these types of fans in visual novel developer Discord servers, online forums for visual novel development, and small game jams. Content creators also fall underneath a similar umbrella. Most of their content includes making long, detailed reviews, video essays, general recommendation lists, visual novel playthroughs, podcast episodes, or even fun comedic videos. If you are interested, I have compiled a playlist of visual novel videos full of other content creators in the space for you to check out. Overall, level 5 visual novel fans have chosen to either further their own education and personal development in the medium or contribute significantly to the visual novel community as a whole. Those are the 5 levels of being a visual novel fan. What level are you? If you are level 1 or level 2 and have stumbled upon this video, consider learning about other popular visual novels using this video right here. I would like to thank everyone on Patreon for supporting me in covering visual novels. You guys are fantastic, and if you would like to be a part of that effort, please consider subscribing.